I turned what was just a 2D game for a school project into a full-fledged 3D game, and I'm going to show you how I did it. My life consists of me always building something, and not too long ago, I started posting about my projects on Instagram. It was pretty fun, but honestly, it was not getting much traction. This is my second semester of college, and I was taking a 2D game class. With this in mind, I came up with the genius idea of documenting the process of creating my final project for my game dev class. Started the project and made a post about it that same day, and I did not expect much, but boy was I wrong. Next morning, I woke up with my video getting tens of thousands of views. Fast forward some time, I finished the project, submitted it, and got an A+. There's a big problem though. I have a game idea that a lot of people seem really interested in. The thing is, honestly, I'm not the biggest fan of 2D games. I don't really like playing them nor developing them as much as 3D ones. Obviously, in this case, all I have to do is remake my 2D game into a 3D game. That's easier said than done. I just realized I haven't even explained the concept of the game to you, so let me do that super quickly. The title of the game is Exterminator's Odyssey. You play as an exterminator, but an interdimensional one. You start off small with some normal pests in someone's apartment, but the challenge gets bigger the more the game progresses. Next, you could be facing aliens from a different planet, or even demons from another dimension. Your time is limited, so exterminate as many pests as you can to move on to the next level. For the video that got big on Instagram, I was building the movement system for the main character, so that's exactly what I'll start with here. For the game engine, even though I have been using Unity my whole life, I'll be creating this masterpiece in Godot, and I'm sure many of you know why. I put in a little capsule that can now walk, run, jump, crouch, and even slide. Now, onto the weapons. I'm getting tired of these boxes and capsules, so I'm actually going to take my time to model a weapon in Blender. I decided to start off small with a melee weapon, so I made the classic melee weapon of all video games, and very handy tool, a crowbar. Alright, we're going to model a crowbar. So first things first, delete everything that we don't need, which is everything else. Then we're going to take the cube and make the cube long. Alright, now we're going to make the bottom curved. And now that we curved it, we want to make the bottom flat. Like this. Now let's curve the top. We're going to bring this face out a little bit and shrink it. Then you're going to want to make a split. And now we have our crowbar. Now I imported the model into the game to see what it's like. Don't mind me watching the UFC fights. I've added a way to pick up our newly built weapon by looking at it and clicking E. However, this did lead to some weird results. Seems like our crowbar is not really moving with our head. This is an easy fix though. All I have to do is make it a child of the head game object. I created some absolutely horrible animations for using the weapon. Now I can pick up the crowbar. Okay. Seems like the player is hitting himself with the crowbar, causing him to go flying. To fix this, I just disabled collisions between the two when the crowbar is in the player's inventory. I've had enough of modeling for now, so we're gonna go back to the good old cubes. This time our cube is an enemy or pest. I attached a simple script to the enemy so that it takes the player's position and starts to make its way towards the player preparing for an attack. Now our enemies will follow us to attack. Now I would rather not have our enemies be invincible, so we have to make them prone to attacks with our weapon. To do this, I just shoot a raycast from my player about a meter in front, and if the enemy is within that distance at the time of the crowbar strikes, he will get hurt. And instead of them expressing pain through text, let's set up some cool particle effects whenever we attack the enemy. Okay, so the levels get progressively crazier. I'm gonna start off from the beginning, so let's make a simple apartment. All I did was grab some random floor plan I found online and cut this cube up to that exact shape. All that's missing is the furniture and stuff, so then I just modeled all those pieces from scratch. Brought the map into Godot, and here we are. It's kinda dark, so we should turn on some lights. Now we have a map we can run around in. I popped in our player, the crowbar, and a couple cubic pests. To make this an actual game-like experience, I have to create the game logic of the level. Added a timer, extermination counter, and health for the player. Now it's a game. Other than the fact that we're dealing with a bunch of cubes, we do have a slight problem. I don't really know many exterminators that use crowbars for their weapon of choice, so time to make a new weapon. I really wanted to make a flamethrower, but I said we were starting off small, so the next best thing, bug spray. Now it's back to Blender to model this bug spray can. Now that we have our spray can, all we have to do is make some changes to the melee weapon script and toss in some cool particles. The game would be complete if the purpose was to kill off cubes. However, that's not what we're really going for. I made some bugs in Blender and tossed it in place of the cubes, and there we go. This was my first time making a complete game in Godot, so it was quite challenging, but the journey was well worth it. Still, it does need a lot more work until it can be considered a real game and be played by the public. The thing is, I don't know if people would want to play this game. I know they did want to play the 2D game one, so I have a link in the description where you can play that now for free. Now, if you think I should finish this game, subscribe and leave a comment letting me know.